Return of the Mac, M.A.C, Moss, Andrew, Carl, back in the building once again. Episode 164. What's happening, fellas?
What's good, man? We almost to 200 for real.
We're creeping.
Yeah.
Creeping up fast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing like a couple weeks ago. We were somewhere around 150 or something. I was like, damn.
I feel like we just did 100.
Right, it really does feel like it wasn't that long ago.
Just moving, man.
Yeah, we are, man. Moving. Making some moves. If you're watching, you can see we've made some moves.
Yeah,
a little different setup here today.
Different location.
Casa de Word.
Yeah. Welcome to my house.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Welcome to everybody. Everybody's invited to my crib. What's up?
We did not put any of the Steelers stuff up. None of this represents the Mac as a whole.
I voted to remove it, but nobody listened.
I mean, I got a pillow over here because they being slept on. They should be.
They just soft.
Relax. We gonna get to the Steelers. We've got obviously plenty of NFL to cover from yesterday.
For sure.
A lot of new music this week.
For sure.
Yes. We got DaBaby. We got the Dahmer. We got everything.
The Dahmer.
DaBaby and the Dahmer.
We got everything.
We got that's the title right there already.
The Dahmer.
It's quick. The Dahmer.
Appreciate me for figuring that out on the fly.
That was easy. I like it when they come that fast.
Me too.
Pause.
Like co-signed
you don't really have to say pause to that because that could apply.
I thought about it.
That could apply to a lady as well.
It's better to over pause.
It's not. Man, we gotta stop.
It depends. It depends on what it is.
I don't say it. I can say the most flagrant shit, and I'm not gonna say pause.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, but we make fun of you.
Tape.
We make fun of you.
I'm not gonna say it, bro. I'm not gonna say pause or no homo or none of that shit.
You ain't got to.
I don't have to.
We got you though.
Yeah, we're gonna call you, so don't worry about it.
I'm just saying.
Don't expect me. I'm gonna let them fly.
Yeah, but we know about you.
What does that mean?
Kept us out of the bag.
Stop.
Yeah, but we know about
what
you.
What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? What do you know?
Out of the bag, my guy.
What do you know? I'm just confident in my what would you call it?
Comfortable in your sexuality. I believe is what you're
sexuality. I guess I didn't really want to say that. I was looking for another word.
Knew what it was.
I knew
what do you call it? Because I know a word, but I'm not gonna say it.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want y'all to flip it and make it sound
that
funny.
pause moment,
right?
That's all that was.
We done called you a big old flagrant motherfucker.
I thought you were gonna drop the F-bomb.
Whoa! I would never.
That's crazy.
This is a F-bomb friendly house. So you can say it as freely as you like.
I appreciate that.
Sometimes I just wake up in the morning and scream it.
You just got to get one out.
Just get it off.
I ain't said it since 07.
Just so everybody know what the rules are around here.
I respect that.
Pro-mag.
Yeah.
I ain't said it since 07, so I don't even remember it.
Oh, shit. Word.
I probably said it this weekend or something. But, hey, we don't need to get ourselves canceled.
We don't.
No.
Anything happened this week worth mentioning? Any personal stuff going on? Funny stories?
Just a regular work week. Nothing really crazy. Just chill. Chill week.
Same here. I had the only eventful thing that happened to me was over the weekend. I don't know if the story translates to the pod. I don't think it's really funny. Y'all are familiar.
It's one of them you had to be there joints.
Yeah, well, y'all are familiar. I left something at somebody's house. Immediately got home and knew I left something at my boy's house. Yeah. So this is 9:30 Saturday night or some shit. So I go back to his house, get the flashlight out in the parking lot. I'm like, I know I left here with it. I just went home. I haven't been anywhere else. Right. It's clearly got to be out here.
Got to be.
That's the worst. That's one of the worst feelings when you can't, because that should just stay on your mind, right? Yeah. I'm not one person who can lose something and just let it go. No. I can't let that shit go. Well, that shit gonna haunt me.
There's a certain point where if it's so far gone, it's I'm never gonna find that. It is what it is.
For sure.
But this is something y'all know.
It was too fast.
Y'all know how close I lived to this person.
Yeah, it's too fast.
I drove home less than 5 minutes.
It's literally instant.
Went straight inside, reached in my pocket, and it was gone.
Yeah.
So I woke up Sunday morning, set my alarm for 9 o'clock to make sure that my fantasy lineups were good for the London football this week. Woke up and I was like, yo, it's daylight. It's still early. I'm going back over there. So I went back over to the parking lot, was doing a little drive-through to see if I could just see it. Mm-hmm. Saw what I lost sitting right underneath the tire of somebody's car.
Oh wow, you got lucky.
You did get lucky.
When I pulled my keys out of my pocket when I was walking to my car,
right.
Shit must have just fell straight out of my pocket. But yep, got it back.
And watch them sweats, man.
Yeah, you gotta watch the sweats.
Do it.
Recovered.
My dad used to always warn me about that shit. Sweats and basketball shorts.
Facts.
Yes.
Usually, I never pay attention to that shit till you lose something. I'm like, goddamn.
That's all you ever wore. Basketball shorts.
Right. My dad used to always tell me, but check your pockets. You know, you got them fucking basketball shorts on. Shit will fall out.
You got basketball shorts on. The second you sit down, everything in your pocket just falls out.
That's why my phone is cracked now.
Falling right out.
That's my phone. That's why my phone is cracked now. Sitting down and pow, hitting the concrete
every time. Every time.
So yeah, I gotta watch out for that, man.
Like I said, probably not a funny pod story. Funny to y'all because we all know what's going on, but it was a great film.
And then you was probably pretty frustrated when you were looking for it initially.
Very.
Right? You can't find anything when you're frustrated. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was raining.
But that adds to the frustration, though.
I went out to my car 6 different times and was like, I had to have fallen down in here. It wasn't there.
Yeah, I'm getting old. I had what the hell was that?
I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, you were just wheezing before you left.
You're getting old, son. I'm getting old. I felt that shit in my throat.
Son. Hey, yo.
Yeah. See, man. That's not gay, though. That's not gay.
Who said it was?
Just saying, this dude.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, yo, man. I'm just saying, hey, yo.
Well,
nothing for Moss. Yeah. Nothing for me. Anything going on with you?
Got?
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
Nah. I did nothing special.
Regular work week. Nothing wrong with that.
Pretty much watched Tech get smashed by UNC.
Told you that was coming.
Yeah.
That was a given.
Yeah, that was an awful.
Game fun? Like to work or anything?
I didn't really watch much of the game, unfortunately. It was a drizzle out there, but no, it was cool. UNC got a nice field.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a nice field.
Oh, you went to their job, one at Tech?
No, it was down at UNC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was dope down there. That stadium old as fuck, though. Really? Damn, y'all need to revamp this shit.
It is.
Liberty shit better than that. But like the actual field and like the bowl, like what you sit in and stuff.
Was good.
That shit's dope. Like the way it looks with the light blue and all that shit. That shit really looks dope. So yeah, but other than that, nothing special.
Blue always looks good.
It really does, man. That's a flawless color.
It really, I can't front. It does. That shit look good as fuck.
It really is.
What's up with the Tar Heel though? What's up with what does that mean?
I lived in North Carolina for 10 plus years.
What does the foot mean?
That's a good question.
I have no.
Is that like some fetish type shit or?
I doubt it.
Is it like a fetish? Why I had to go there?
A foot fetish type shit? Like,
this is a really good question.
That mascot is like a ram or something, right? Where's that mascot?
Yeah, it's like a ram.
But what the fuck the foot got to do with it?
I don't know.
The Tar Heels?
Yeah,
but what the fuck is a Tar Heel?
I'm gonna have to look this up after we record because now I'm like legitimately curious. I'm trying to think through stuff. And
you stepping on shit. You got like a hard heel or something. Like you stepping on shit. I don't know. I'm trying to.
I think it has something to do with the animal though.
Yeah, it's got to
in some way.
But it's a human foot.
That's a good point as well.
Is it a human foot?
Yeah, it's a human foot. I got a picture with the fucking.
It's not hooves. Like. Yeah, it's 5 toes.
Right. It's a human foot.
Yeah, I guess that makes it weird then.
It's very clear. It's a foot fetish type thing. Yeah, look into that shit.
That motherfucking footprint.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Yeah. I'll get back to you. I'm very curious right now, but
very irrelevant subject.
Questions that need answers.
Yeah,
I'm so curious. All right, so. Anyway,
let's do it.
We'll get into football Sunday.
Let's do it.
Well, actually, we'll go back to football Thursday.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the biggest topic of the week amongst all of the sports world, the talking heads, our chat, Tua. Thursday night, Dolphins and Bengals played.
Big game. Big AFC game.
Bengals come away with a win. To be honest with you, again, same as last week and every other week. Don't even really remember what happened Thursday night. And I even watched the highlights before we recorded. But the big thing was the Tua left with another concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
my man was locked up
on gang signs, bro.
He got slammed down hard.
I know his fault. Damn, bro.
Honestly, that shit happened in boxing matches.
Like, yeah.
When motherfuckers start just throwing up gang signs on the ground.
Tua was a bicycle. We didn't even know it. Like, damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
For real, when it happened, like, it was like, I thought it was like legit really scary when it happened.
It was, for sure.
Because like his instant immediate, like as soon as he hits the ground, like he kind of crawled up like fetal position. He put his hands on his head for like a brief half a second.
He felt that shit.
And then he rolls onto his back and he's got his hands like just in front of his face,
they
all
call
twisted
that the fencing
up.
Position.
Really?
It's called fencing.
In regards to
when your body locks up like that. That's
but like in regards to
head trauma.
Yeah, correct.
But like I don't know, man. It was just sad. It was sad and it was really scary right away because obviously you can tell that type of reaction, like even without any kind of scientific background or any like real knowledge on concussions, you can tell when somebody involuntarily is moving a limb.
Right.
It's like, their brain is sending a signal somewhere in their body that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's like seriously crosswired. Like that's fucking serious.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely fucked up. I mean, he went off on the stretcher. And that's one of the things he didn't even, was fucked up because he didn't get a thumbs up on the way out. That's what everybody's looking for, the thumbs up and shit on the way out. That shit ain't happened. So you're like, oh, he might be.
He was not in the arena.
I don't think he was even conscious at the time. Still.
I mean, possibly not. I think he probably woke up a little bit on the field, but I mean, I'm sure he didn't know where the fuck he was at.
Right. He wasn't in the arena no more. He was already gone.
I'm sure he didn't know his own name at that point in time.
Right.
So yeah, definitely scary, man. Just a situation again. We all knew he shouldn't have been out there. He shouldn't have played the last game, but unfortunately, he was, and that's what happened.
So y'all see what happened afterwards? The response.
I'm not sure.
They fired the concussion protocol person that checked neurological person,
doctor or something.
I've got a little bit of information.
Neurologist, I guess what it is, neurologist.
Yeah, I've done a decent amount of reading and watching videos on this stuff because I'm curious about it in general, and I have a little bit of a pushback to like the overall general reaction that has come from the situation.
Right.
One of the things that I heard though is that is an independent neurologist or whatever we want to call them. Is an independent person and they are chosen by the NFL Players Association and the league. Okay. They have to agree.
They can't be fired.
Well,
by the team.
They can be fired
by the NFLPA.
They have to be agreed upon by both. And then either the Players Association or the league can fire this person at any point in time.
Right.
So it's kind of like a mutual understanding that we have chosen these people, and if either one of us think that they've misplaced our trust or whatever you want to call it, either one of us can fire. So the Players Association is
they did the
firing.
Okay.
Had done the initial firing.
Makes sense.
Which he should have been. I mean, of course, but that should be the first head to roll in this situation, if you ask me. That like it shouldn't stop there. Like, don't use this guy as the scapegoat. We all saw what happened.
So
it's fishy.
Go ahead, Moss.
It's fishy because you look at it and it's like, okay, they're gonna scapegoat the neurologist person, but it's like, all right, y'all as a team and y'all coaches seeing him on the field. When he was wobbling, when he stood up after he hit his head, like, wouldn't that make you think, like, maybe we shouldn't throw him back in there? Even if the neurologist said, yeah, it's good, like, he good to go. Like, you would think, like, all right, maybe I should protect this player in this moment instead of thinking, oh, just because he said it's good, let's go.
Common sense didn't kick in for everybody. To
answer just that question, the argument could be made for a chain of command kind of thing. Right. I'm not a doctor. Right. I don't know shit about concussion. If we have an independent neurologist that we have agreed understands this to the nth degree, they're saying it's okay, then as a team, I would go with that, to be honest. I think that's a reasonable expectation.
True.
To me, like the biggest deciding factor, obviously a lot of people have handled this badly that are involved within the situation as a whole. Mm-hmm. But to me, like there's a very important distinction between was protocol not properly followed, like as in, we had talked last week about did they wait to test him until a half an hour later when he was ready to answer? I don't know. That's just something I came up with, but did that happen? Did they give him whatever the agreed upon required testing is, and it's not rigorous enough,
right?
And he did properly pass it? Like, I don't know, but there's a difference between, did somebody knowingly send him back out there knowing that he was concussed, or is the protocol not sufficient enough to really tell that this person should or shouldn't be playing? I think there's a lot of gray area around the process.
At that point, once he started wobbling, it was over.
This is 2 weeks ago.
Right. Okay. But the Bills game.
Right.
As soon as he did.
It wasn't even 2 weeks ago. It was Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah, right.
Two games ago.
Yeah.
Once he collapsed, that was it. That's it. I don't, because you of course they said he had a back injury. But look, I've had back spasms before. Right. When your back locks up, you're not getting the fuck back up anytime soon. You're not popping right back up if your back locks up and you got back spasms and shit. Yeah. Your ass is on the fucking ground for a minute. Yeah. You're going to have to crawl around and somebody going to have to assist you. Yeah. Like, seriously.
And his reaction wasn't like something hurt. It was like,
he got up,
can't get my feet, my shit together.
His equilibrium was off. He got up and immediately shook his head. So I'm just saying, like, at that point, common sense, that's why I blame all parties. If you want to throw Tua in there too, that's fine. But everybody else is responsible just as much as he is, if not more, in that situation. Because we all saw it, and I felt like it was almost an insult for the Dolphins to sit there and say, it was a back issue. Because it's like, we're not fucking stupid. We know what a motherfucker looks like when he just got knocked the fuck out. Yeah. We've all seen it plenty of times watching UFC and boxing matches and shit. Even at a local party, a motherfuker getting knocked out.
Man, we know what the starts wobbling. They calling that fight. The fight is over.
Right. You know what the fuck time it is.
The fight is over. Shit is over.
Right. He's done.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have survived that 10-second count.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
So
he would have been out. TKO.
You're not even coherent. We got to stop this fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't even need the neurologist at this point. This guy's out for this game. That's what I'm saying. It's just obvious at that point. He can't play going forward. Right. Come on.
I know you kind of feel about the player side of it too, right?
Well, yeah. And I want to come back to that if you don't mind, because I want to address specifically what you were just talking about. I agree basically with everything you just said. My sitting on the couch watching football game ass opinion is that he was knocked the fuck out.
Right, for sure.
That is 100% what I believe. The part that I think is really difficult is there's not enough information on concussions in general for us to know enough about recovery and stuff. When he came back out in the second half, he played a great second half 2 weeks ago.
For sure, he probably don't remember it.
So he outwardly, after the initial, we clearly thought he was knocked out. There would be no indication that he wasn't able to play.
I agree.
And then if you follow that into this week, the reason I really was annoyed by so much of the backlash is if he did that last week, 30 minutes after getting knocked out.
Right.
This was a short week, like you said, so only to Thursday, but you see him on Tuesday and Wednesday, and he's regular ass old Tua that you see every single day in the locker room. What would any team or any personnel have to believe that he wasn't good enough to play in that game Thursday? And I don't think there is anything.
I understand
that. We get to look back now after we saw something that looked disgusting, terrible, like it turned us we have the ability to see something graphic like that and be like, yo, this is fucked up. Yeah. This person should be fired. That person should be fired. But if I saw Tua Tuesday and Wednesday and there's no indication that he's having any lingering anything, I have no reason to believe that he's not available to play Thursday. And the last point to expand on this same idea is they've already ruled him out for week 5 because of the backlash. How the fuck do we know if he's ready for week 5? Week 6, week 7, there's not a clear recovery that okay, you're good now. We're all just kind of shooting shit in the air, and every time something like this happens, concussions will come back into the news. We'll talk about it again, but there's really not anything that's going to change from this, in my opinion. But that was a lot of shit. Yeah. The question I asked though, what do you do about between the end of game 2 weeks ago to Thursday, if he's not experiencing any symptoms, how would you know that he's not supposed to play Thursday?
My simple answer for that is just that we saw the same footage. I know the coaches saw that footage. We're going on ESPN 24 hours a day of him fucking stumbling. At that point, that's when you make the call, regardless of how he says he feels, or regardless of how he thinks he feels, or what the neurologist said. Come on, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like, I get that you're taking the information from the doctors and stuff like that, but use your common sense at that point.
For Thursday? So you're saying if you're a coach, you would have just said
I would have told him he was not going to play on Thursday.
All right,
based on what I saw from Sunday. Even if I let him finish the game, maybe as a coach, I had some other shit going on. I was talking to other players. It was right before halftime. Maybe I was ramping up the defense.
He played well in that second half.
Well, no, maybe I was ramping up. Maybe I didn't see how fucked up he was in that game at that point in time. So I would allow some grace for that. Mm-hmm. But once I go back and I see that shit on film, because we all watched the film on the next day, the following day, and we all seen the shit spinning on ESPN and every fucking sports show for the next 48 hours. At that point, I'm not gonna play him.
But at that, I understand that, and I don't think that's a bad decision. But at that point, you are deciding then. How do I want to word it?
It's crazy.
But you're deciding that the next week. Go ahead.
I see it's not the same week though in this case. From the Mike Tomlin interview with the Pivot.
Yeah,
and they was talking about. That's what he was talking about. Yeah, he was talking about Ryan Clark got cleared to play. This is after his shit with his what is
sickle cell? He got sickle cell shit,
and he was supposed to play got cleared to play. Okay, and Tomlin still sat him like, "Nah, I gotta protect you in this moment because I understand." He said he almost died on the field with that sickle cell shit. Some shit the last game.
Tomlin was like, I guess.
The Mile High in Denver or something, something about the shit that affected
the atmosphere or something like that.
He's like the air is thinner, which is kind of a different situation because the Mile High would affect him a little bit more.
Right,
but in that moment, he was cleared to play. He could have still played.
That's a great point.
And the coach was like, "Nah, I got to think about." He was like, "I got to be able to go to sleep at night."
Right.
If something happened to you on that field, now allows you to go on that field, knowing what happened last time you played in Denver. I wouldn't know how to deal with that shit afterwards. So at some point, the coach got to think like, "All right, is it really worth just this one game? Because you can still play the next Sunday."
It's so early.
I understand it's the AFC game. It's a big game. It's the Bengals. But it's like making that decision is like hard to. You never know.
Nah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And I had the utmost respect. For Tomlin before.
Right.
But like that type of response is the type of thing that I would have even more respect for him for. Because he has the knowledge and he's displaying the knowledge that people are more important than this game.
Exactly.
And I respect you as a person. I love you as a person on my team, but I can't put you in danger that way.
Right.
Ideally, all coaches would operate that way. We know that's not the case.
For sure.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
That was kind of more along the lines of my point when I had brought up Tua to y'all in the chat, that I do think the player, specifically Tua in this instance, deserves as much responsibility as anybody else for making the decision to play, because it is life. It is life and death, and I understand that the player is always going to want to play because you've got a desire to play the game, because you want to earn extra checks.
Their whole life to fight through it.
Right. There's a whole thing.
You can play, you gonna play.
Right. You want to be tough.
But if you're gonna put your life on the line yourself, You can't ask somebody else to care more about me than I care about.
At the same time, I tell you though, I think I said this in the chat too. Is that type of player? You know, if he gonna get cleared to play, he's gonna play regardless of anything, and you have to be able to step in and protect him because he don't give a fuck.
Most football players are though. Like that's why I thought it was funny when the coach. I think Mike McDaniels is a good coach. I think he's a solid guy, and I don't think he's a bad person or anything. But when he says something like, "I would never put a player in harm's way just to win a game," and I just thought it was funny because that's what we do. You're in harm's way when we're playing this game. Motherfuckers take shots just to come out here and play. You know what I'm saying? Like this 5'9", 180-pound dude sometimes got to get tackled by this 300-pound 6'9" motherfucker. Like we put each other in harm's way all the time in football, but we love this shit. Like that's the part of the football that motherfuckers love. So like respectfully, when anybody ever has that point that you're saying about like you got to put the onus on the player and stuff, like I understand that, but the only people I see that have that point were people who didn't play football. You know what I'm saying? Like, because anybody who did play football is like, I don't give a fuck what's wrong with my body. Right. Like, I'm gonna give it up here. I'm gonna go out here and throw it all on the line.
Football, you didn't play through some shit that you could have sat out for.
Bro, my knee was swole up to the size of a fucking balloon.
Yeah,
right.
And I was still out there,
especially in the younger leagues, or like in high school or college or whatever, because you're trying to keep your spot. It's somebody behind you that wants to play in your spot. So if you sitting out with an injury, there's a chance your spot can get taken.
Is that? But it's just, I don't know. It's just something internally that's like, you want to go out there and just give your best for your brothers and shit. Yeah. Like, y'all motherfuckers and train together. You just want to give your all for them.
Exactly.
Like, motherfuckers, like, when they're playing, they will literally, they don't even, I don't know if they're conscious of this, but they'll literally give their life. You know what I'm saying? On the football field. That's the kind of mode that you kind of in. Like, you willing to do anything right now to score the next touchdown or to, you know, make the next play. Like, that's how you feel playing the game.
Coaches feel that same way, though.
For sure. But they got to have a little bit more responsibility.
But this is my point. I completely disagree with just that aspect of it. And if we never agree, we never agree. It is what it is. But you can't put, everything you said is true about the desire to play, the desire to be there for your guys, the money that you're making, all of that stuff is true. If you're not willing to protect your own life, I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. There's a very big difference between trying to tough through an MCL injury and a brain injury. And if you're asking coaches and all the respective team members to notice the difference between the severity in one and compared to the other, the player has to be responsible for that as well.
But let's be real. He's not the first person to play through. It's been thousands of players to play through concussions.
Oh, yeah, everybody.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, this shit happens all the time. Motherfuckers play. Yeah. The thing is now we have the technology and the cameras to recognize, or supposed to be able to recognize, when a motherfucker and protect him from himself.
Just like I was saying about losing your spot in high school or college, you lose your spot in the league, you might not have that chance again.
Yeah, if you die.
And that's, you don't want to lose that.
Died, though. I mean, you have a concussion, two concussions that close together, it can lead to serious, like, honestly, we're talking about it, but Tua may never be the same again. I mean, I think he'll be fine.
Right.
Ultimately,
we have no way to know.
You have no clue how this changes him going forward.
Yeah.
No clue how this affects him going forward. And that's, I don't know. I feel like, ultimately it's still the team's responsibility to make sure that he's okay, because they got the doctors, they got the people with the information at their hands. So I just felt like that
you got the last word. As a head coach, you got the last word. If this player plays or not.
If the motherfucker ain't playing, he ain't playing. He can't go out on that field
no matter what the doctor says.
Right. For sure. Right. So
yeah, I mean, it's a lot of sides to it. There's a lot of shit that's gonna happen. I just hate the emotional response to something dramatic happening, which is what, I mean, it's just society in general. But
we'll say drama
3 months
sparks emotion, though. I mean, that's
3 months from now, when some quarterback gets knocked out in a playoff game. I brought it up mad times last week, so I don't want to keep doing it, but we saw this happen to Mahomes, and it was in a big, important playoff game. Yeah. And he
was out for the rest of that game, though.
He was
out for the rest of that game.
I think there's.
I looked into it. He was out for the rest of that game.
Are you talking about when Tannehill finished the end of that game? I think
no, not Tannehill. You're talking about Chase Daniels. I think that's who that backup
maybe.
Was. It was the Browns game. Remember the Browns playoff game where they came back at the end. They made it close. Mahomes was knocked out, so he didn't finish the game. But he came back. He passed concussion protocol for the next week.
I'm just saying it's going to happen again. That may be true.
Possibly
I'm not trying to argue with you, but it's going to happen again. And another coach and franchise is going to let the player back in the game. Fans are going to want the player back in the game. When it's that AFC championship game and the quarterback is gone,
the players going to want to go back
because
he's
been wobbled. For real, we've seen it. I mean, to change sports, it happened with the KD shit when he was with the Warriors. So last year with the Warriors, when he was coming back from that, was it a foot injury or ankle injury or something like that?
Injury.
Calf injury.
When he tore the
and he came back a little earlier. Like I think it was like the
for the finals.
Western Conference Finals or something, or was it the finals?
No, it was the finals. It was the finals.
He came back and was balling, and then ended up messing this shit up and was done for a year.
Towards Achilles, popped.
Team got to make that call, and they just. I mean, he got approved, but it was like that. It was a quick turnaround from him having that injury. It was like a couple weeks or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's just it's always going to be the case.
He was out most of the postseason.
These leagues are too competitive. The business
turnover is so quick.
The business as a whole makes too much money. It's not going to change, but
that just leads me to my further points. When you're talking about businesses making money, I know the NFL is not going to do this shit, but the real issue is Thursday night football. That's the real issue. I know we like to have football kind of in the middle of the week, but let's be real about Thursday night football. The shit's a garbage product. It doesn't even feel like fucking football, right? You just watch it because it's on. The shit's never great.
Since it was started, that was the complaint.
Yeah, it's just not a good product.
To give them credit, this season they have been putting better games on the Thursday night game. But the game still ain't been that good.
It's not good. It's because it can't be. It cannot
last week was the Bills and who was the Bills and somebody.
It can't be a good product. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that the NFL is structured, it can't be a good product.
Yeah. Well, I 100% agree with you. But the biggest point is they do all the player safety shit. That's one of the most egregiously bad for player safety. Simply money grab that you can
right.
Thursday night football.
It's contradiction. Like that's all it is. Like you're just pretty much contradicting yourself. Like you're just really the player safety shit is lip service. Like that's all it is. Is just you're just saying the shit. That's it.
It's all games in an extra week. Yeah, extra regular season week.
I feel like if you want to do Thursday night football, it's fine. But I feel like we got to start like throwing an extra bye week in there or something, or. The only people who should be playing Thursday night football, which that means Thursday night football wouldn't start until later in the season, are people coming off the bye week.
There shouldn't be any.
Ultimately,
there shouldn't be any
unless it's Thanksgiving. I mean, that's fine. But
shouldn't have that either. But look, it is.
That's only once a year. But if
it's bad for player safety, it's bad for. This is what the league does.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
You're trying to find a symmetry.
It's a big ass day.
That's a big
day. 3 games in one day.
The motherfuckers better be playing on Thanksgiving.
We need that Cowboys Commanders battle going down.
We're looking for player safety within the realms of capitalists.
Yeah,
we want to make as much money as possible, and once within that, however we can make the most money as possible, we want you to be as safe as you can while we do that.
Yeah.
But we're doing this regardless.
Yeah.
But let's keep it moving. We can talk about Tua for an hour and a half.
Y'all don't want to talk about. Y'all got anything to address regarding the game at all? I don't know. You said y'all.
I mean, the game was kind of shitty after he got hurt. It was just whatever. We knew the Bengals was going to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Bengals were going to do too much. Yeah, the Bengals are not good though. Is that fair to say? No, they're not very good at this point.
So I agree. The only thing that holds me back from just calling them not any good
because they got so much talent.
They got all that talent, and they made the run last year. It's like we know that these guys can perform. I don't know what the issues are,
they started out shaky like this last year.
Yeah, they did.
They had a shaky start,
but it's
you expect them to pick up where they left off.
But when you go, depending on how much longer this happens, if you were to take it back and look over the last 16 months of Bengals football, it's like we really had a hot month to end the season and a good playoff run, which is all anyone asks for.
As long as you in that contention,
it's all about when you get hot. Right. Motherfuckers that start off 8-0 are never going to win a Super Bowl. It's just it rarely happens. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shit, we went 16-0.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean,
lost
14 or something before.
Like 19-0 for real.
Shit, crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. Anything else on that game?
I don't have anything else to address.
I'm good.
Buffalo and Baltimore on Sunday was one of the best games of the day, I would say.
For sure. Football weather.
Game. Yeah.
Rainy, messy.
Shitty weather, for sure.
It was. Yeah, you knew that was going to happen across the league because of all the hurricane stuff.
For sure. Especially all the East Coast. Right off the water and shit. So they're going to get some rain.
I don't want to skip ahead too far. What I had jotted, the fourth down at the end of the game was kind of the big moment of this game. The one.
Well, the Ravens went up 20-0, right?
Was that the score?
I think it was 14 to 7-3.
It was 20-3. They went up 20-3 at one
didn't score anymore.
Didn't score any more points.
Whole second half.
Yep.
The whole second half, just really awful. I think
Lamar had his first bad game this season.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson played terrible.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. I think he had a terrible, especially terrible second half.
And didn't think he looked particularly bad.
I think the second half was, but he had 144 yards, 144 yards, threw a pick.
2 picks.
2 picks.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. He had a decent rushing performance, like 72 yards rushing?
73.
Yeah.
73 yards rushing, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Josh Allen was awful in the first half.
Yeah,
he wasn't good.
First quarter, I want to say he started 2 for 8, I believe, and one of them was a pick.
First series was a pick. Like his first pass was a pick or some shit like that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
He finished the game.
And he had a
with
lot of
relatively low
interceptable passes, though. Like, the Ravens should have came away with about 3 or 4 picks that game. Like, they just dropped them.
It was messy. It was a messy game.
But ultimately, I came away from that game thinking that Lamar Jackson wasn't very good. Or he wasn't good enough.
He wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, to get shut out in the second half when you have that kind of lead is terrible. But towards the end of the game, Baltimore goes on like a 14-play drive or something.
14-play drive.
Gets it down to the 2 on second down. They incomplete pass or something, and they got stuffed for a couple. No. They got stuffed, picked up a couple of yards. They get the 4th and goal on the 1. Mm-hmm. And tie game. I believe it was 4-minute mark. They decided to go for the touchdown rather than kick the field goal. What were your thoughts on that possession?
I mean, I thought going for it was. I'm not going to argue with that call. That's fine with me to go for it.
Really?
The guy was wide open. Lamar Jackson got to make a better play.
Who?
The receiver was wide open in the corner. You talking about the play where Lamar Jackson is drifting back?
Yeah,
Lamar throws the pick.
Lamar was.
The guy was wide. I mean, he was wide open for the entire play, jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks in the corner of the end zone, literally.
Lamar was scrambling though.
That's what I saw.
This is way before a scramble started though. Like if he
they were on him immediately.
Yeah, he had to scramble immediately.
He went backwards.
So he was open. He was running.
He made the throw from like the 20-yard line.
What I say is, I've seen Lamar Jackson make that play far too many times, like the incorrect play in the red zone that way. Drifting backwards. He's done that.
Switch positions?
Huh?
We switched positions? I'm a Lamar defender now?
Yeah, you are in this situation. He's done that. He had that same exact interception like last season where he's drifting back. Like you can't do that and then expect to. Yeah. You got to make a decision earlier in the play. It's just he got to break down the defense and read it better and get to the man faster than what he did. That's how I saw it. He got to hit the open man on that play, and you can't drift back in the pocket and think that you're going to make a touchdown play.
And he running, falling back. It's just you got to make a better play. But
did you like the play call then?
The play call.
The guy was open. The guy was open.
What yard line was they on? Do you remember? 2. On the 2-yard line.
They were close.
With Lamar Jackson dog on the 2-yard line. Come on. That's what I'm thinking as an officer. I got fucking Lamar Jackson. Even if the run play, that's what the pass play don't work.
That's literally what the Ravens do. When they that right there, they putting the ball in Lamar's hands and say win the game. So I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. He's done it so many times. Giving the ball, let him do. Let him make a play.
I don't think it was like a crazy call because everything y'all just said. Like their offense.
That's what they do.
They go for it a lot.
Right.
They're tough to stop, particularly Lamar.
If we can get 2 yards.
Puts you up 7. Mm-hmm. It really takes control of the game. I got no problems with it.
Yeah.
I think you're better off kicking it, obviously, hindsight and everything. But that late into the game, you have the opportunity to take a lead. And the Bills' offense hasn't been that great.
Yeah.
They got the job done, but I think they were better off. And then obviously, from Harbaugh's perspective, he's figuring worst case scenario, we're starting at the 2 on defense.
Right.
Not counting on the interception. He's figuring fourth or turnover on downs is not that big of a deal.
Exactly.
And you keep it moving. But they got the interception, put on a great drive to kill all of Baltimore's timeouts, take up the entire 4 minutes, kick the game winner with 3 seconds left. Mm-hmm. Pretty textbook from the Bills to finish the game.
Yeah.
That was the first Josh Allen late game win, wasn't it?
Second, maybe. I know he hasn't won many games. I think he was like 1-7 coming into that game.
I thought it was like 0-7
or something like that in one possession games. He hasn't been great in one possession games,
right?
But they did finally take one home. But it was really. I mean, the Ravens got to find a way to put some points up, and some points in the second half wins you that game.
That's true.
That's 2 weeks in a row for them, isn't it? Didn't they lose the Dolphins 2 weeks ago? Yeah, that was the two game.
They did. Yep.
So they blew a massive lead to the Dolphins, and they blew a massive lead to the Bills.
It's 2 times within 3 weeks because the Dolphins have played the Bills on that Sunday. So it's 2 times within the last 3 weeks blowing leads.
Yeah,
that they did. So. I mean, their defense is not great, but still the defense...
They played pretty well Sunday.
They played well enough to win that game.
Been that great.
Right. They played well enough to win that game. They do have to bring home some of those interceptions. Like you said, I mean, Josh Allen was throwing a lot of interceptable passes, especially in that first half. But he turned it on in the second half and had some big runs down the stretch. I still think, I mean, he's built for it. But yeah, man, he's gonna get fucking popped one day, man. Josh Allen. Yeah, he gonna feel that shit one day. I'll tell you. He can make a career out of it. I'm saying he can still have a 10-year career, but he gonna cut his shit significantly short by playing a style. Just he can
as he
run.
Get older, he'll chill on it a little bit.
He can run the way he's running. I'm fine with him running the ball.
You don't get that opportunity that much, though. Yeah. I agree with you because of all the stuff I watched with Cam. The one thing I will say is that really the only Cam hit that fucked him up
TJ Watt
was TJ Watt. Yeah. He was in the pocket trying to make a pass. It was just kind of a bad situation for where he got hit.
He was opened up like a motherfucker.
When you're as big as he is and as big as Josh Allen is, when you're deciding who's hitting who,
exactly.
I don't think the injuries happen nearly as often. But
all it takes is one, and all I'm saying is just sometimes you got to slide or do something to avoid contact. Like if you watch Lamar Jackson run, but he doesn't take any direct contact. Like, the motherfucker is slithery as a bitch. Like, he finds a way to get down.
That's his strong suit, though.
Yeah, right. And I get that they're different.
And if he was Josh Allen's size, he might go Josh Allen.
I get that. But just find a way to slide sometimes. You're not going to...
you should.
You're not going to build a career running through people as a quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
Save those for the goal line.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
The touchdown run he had was dope, and he did have to run through somebody to get in there. But when you pick up the first down... Drop that knee, take the 12-yard gain instead of the 15, and live to play the next game.
Those are the ones he got to chill on.
Yeah. And given the way that he's running the pass, you might pick up like a personal foul because somebody is coming in like a missile on you.
Extra yards.
Yeah, you get another extra 15. Mm-hmm. So it's just something he should think about, I think, going forward, just because, I mean, he's a great player, but... you can't do that for long, and I might be wrong. He might be fucking bionic man.
You're most likely right,
but it's just
Father Time tells us that you don't stay
somebody
that
gonna
way.
fuck your shit up. That's what it is. Like you gonna come up and some shit ain't gonna feel right. And you gonna know immediately.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. But the Ravens, man, I'm not sure what to think about the Ravens or really most teams in the AFC North right now.
Yeah.
Or all of them.
AFC North, surprisingly, really does not look very scary this year. It leads us to our next game. Your boys. Your boys make the cut this week as one of the more newsworthy games because the Kenny Pickett era has begun.
Been waiting on it, man. I'm just sad.
Is it official though? Like, is Trubisky done?
Done, son.
I mean, you got it. You can't.
Would you be hot if they start Trubisky next week?
I think everybody in Pittsburgh would.
You don't lose your spot versus the Jets mid-game and then get it back.
Well, and the thing that kind of pissed me off about it is that we all knew that this was coming, right? Like, based on the way Trubisky was playing, he had done nothing up until this point to solidify his spot as a starter. Right. In my opinion, nothing that you say that, hey, he does this so well, we can't take him off the field. Like nobody else can do, like leadership wise or anything. No, not even anything like intangible. Like he did nothing to solidify his spot through his 3.5 games that he played.
Had your opportunity.
He had his opportunity. Yep. My thing is just that I feel like the Steelers wasted the first quarter of their season with the Trubisky experiment. After the first game of getting 5 turnovers and only scoring 23 points in overtime, which it took you the entirety of overtime to do.
Yeah.
At that point, your offense is not good enough. I would have made the change at that point in time and say, hey, clearly the offense needs a spark. I think they wasted, or we possibly could at least won another game in there if Pickett would have been starting from the jump. But yeah, I mean, right now he has to be the guy going forward, and you just gotta let them. It's a young offense. You gotta let them grow with Pickett and grow together. I like his attitude, so hopefully the offense will kind of mold into his identity.
What did you think of his performance in the time that he got in?
If you look at the box score, you're gonna be like, "Damn, this guy's not play well."
It's crazy how this. I feel like this is one of the least truthful box scores that you'll ever find.
If you see the game,
I was watching.
He was 10 of 13, 120 yards and 3 interceptions.
That was a very catchable ball.
Yeah, I mean he's deadly accurate.
No drops the whole game. Your team's gonna catch it, or my team's
gonna catch it. The ball didn't touch the ground.
That's funny.
But the dude is deadly.
3 incompletions, all the picks. That's nuts.
But that's what I mean. Kenny Pickett is an accurate quarterback. He might not have the hugest arm, but he can throw on the run with extreme accuracy, and he's always gonna throw a catchable ball in a good spot for a wide receiver. But in the interceptions, you look at it, all of them, one of them was a Hail Mary.
Yeah, one was a Hail Mary. And
the other 2 were off of wide receiver hands.
They were both tipped balls.
So all of his passes hit wide receivers' hands except for the Hail Mary.
That second one was the Lamar Jackson play that you're talking about, though. He did it.
Drifting back.
Just backpedaling, trying to avoid the rush, and he throws it all the way to the long side of the field at the top. I mean, it was on him, but it was a tip
some
ball.
people fault him for that, but I'm like, it's just kind of bad luck because if Pat Freiermuth tips the ball and it goes out of bounds, we don't talk about it. You know, that's just you would say, hey, he really put it in a place where only his guy could get it. He threw it up high for Pat Freiermuth to come down with it. Unfortunately, it got tipped in bounds. And then his first pass of the game was an interception to Chase Claypool. And I don't get why God blessed him with a 6'4" frame and 240-pound body. Because he can't come down with these 50-50 balls for some reason. Right. You got a fucking 5'8" corner on you. You're one-on-one with this guy down the field.
Make a play.
Box this motherfucker out. You should come down with that play every time. He hit him right in the hands.
It looked like on that play.
Square.
He went up as high as he could, and then it looked like he caught it like at his waist.
He always does.
Like, yeah, what is he doing?
Chase always does this shit where when he never catches he always falls down catching a ball. He's never catching it and then lands on his feet.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
No yak.
Go attack the football. Don't fall away from it, falling backwards. And that's what he did. Yeah. Giving the defender a chance to step in front of it, make a play, and tip the ball. And then the other safety came and picked it off. So I don't like. I don't like PFF, but they didn't charge Pickett with an interceptable pass for that game, even though he had 3 interceptions.
You're reading up a lot about him if you don't like him. How did you know about how they graded that one play?
I heard it on the podcast.
That's nuts. They ain't giving nothing for 3 picks.
No, I mean, one was a Hail Mary, bro, and the other 2 were tip balls. But other than that, though, man, I think Pickett's gonna be a really good player in the league. Of course, we got to put the ball in the end zone more. He can't turn it over. But I really like his style, man. The dude he's a gamer. Like it's one play where he had like a free rusher come in, right in his face. He steps up, delivers the ball over the middle to Pat Freiermuth on a big 3rd down. Which we've had trouble converting the entire season. He came in there and went 5 for 6 on 3rd downs in the second half. Something we haven't seen the Steelers do the entire season. That alone shows you that he's better. But after the play, after he delivers the pill to Pat Freiermuth, he's looking at the defensive lineman and talking shit. Like smiling this guy in the face and talking shit like, try better next time. I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. That's the identity I want the Steelers offense to have because they don't have one. without him on the field.
Y'all's identity to the outside world is just a whole gang of diva receivers.
Yeah.
Do you corroborate
pretty much?
Oh, they got the talent.
That is the identity I have. If I was you, well, I don't need to tell you because you already are. I would be excited. There was a clear difference from the moment he came in the game. Y'all suddenly had the ability to score.
Yeah.
It was this is a legitimate offense that we now have to be concerned with. So I do think throughout the year, he'll probably win you a couple games that you definitely weren't going to win with Mitch. And he's going to throw some 3-pick games that are legitimate interceptions.
For sure. Yeah. But you got to even look at it just from a George Pickens standpoint. How much have I talked about George Pickens on this podcast and how great this guy is, right? Or how great he can be. Before this game, his career high was 39 yards. He gets in
3 games.
Yeah, well, I mean, not in 3. His career, I think
just setting some context.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in 3 games,
just entered the league. Yo.
Well, I'll put it this way: he had 106 yards in this game alone, and really most of it came in the second half with Pickett.
Right.
Prior to that, he didn't have 100 yards combined, and so I mean that tells you all you need to know. You're not getting the ball to your most talented player. Just find a way to get these guys the ball. So, and Pickett can do that, but ultimately, man,
Deontay was y'all most talented receiver.
He's not the most talented. He was the best, but not anymore. If you can get the ball to George Pickens, it's Pickens' time. But
I was reminded why I should never bet on the Steelers because I needed Najee Harris to give me 1 touchdown this weekend in my parlay, and Pickett got in and he was y'all short yardage running back. Scored both his touchdowns off of 2 yards in the red zone.
You said Pickens. I thought you said Pickett. I was like, Pickett had a rush.
He said Pickett.
I mixed it up.
Yeah. You're going to do that a lot going forward.
Yeah, it's too much, man.
So, that happened, but, I guess he looked good. I ain't seen none of the game. I was just looking at stats and shit, but...
Yeah, I don't mean to bury...
Obviously, a change in how the Steelers play on offense.
I don't mean to bury the enjoyable part of this game, though. You guys lost to the Jets.
They did lose to the Jets. 3 straight losses to AFC teams, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, terrible. Terrible losses at that.
I was watching the highlights before I came over here, and the one thing I did want to say about the Jets... I didn't watch a lot of the game, but their offense just looks dumb fast on the highlights.
I was looking at the stats and shit. I see Zach Wilson had them 2 long drives at the end of that game to win it.
That's what it was. That's pretty tough. That was the game. And that's the most disappointing part to me is that the defense, because before that, Zach Wilson had only completed 1/3 of his passes. He was really trash quarter 1 through 3.
They only got the 50% by the end of the game.
Right. This is his first game back, so it's like the first half he looked rusty, but the second half he said he looked good.
Yeah, and I mean the Steelers got 1 sack, but they had 25 pressures. So you could say that. I mean, of course, Zach Wilson is mobile, and I was high on Zach Wilson coming out. I think he's going to be a fairly good quarterback. But at the same time, you got to convert some of those pressures into sacks. He escaped so much where he was just throwing the ball out of, just being able to escape and throw the ball out of bounds and live another down. The Steelers allowed him to convert 3rd and longs or 4th and long, all on the last 2 drives, and that was the really most depressing thing for me. This was one of the most encouraging, discouraging games I've ever watched in my life because I'm encouraged about what I've seen from Kenny Pickett, but discouraged about what I've seen from the defense because until TJ Watt gets back, I don't see it getting much better than what it is. And we did have some guys go down in the 4th quarter, and that certainly didn't help. But yeah, can't lose to the Jets that way. Not when you have a 10-point lead in the 4th quarter with 10 minutes left. Gotta win that game.
I feel that. So we went super long with Tua, so go through these last couple little bit here to touch on what we need to. Pats Packers also turned out to be a really good game. Shockingly.
So, haven't seen none of my Patriots games this year because I can't find a fucking link for it that's gonna work or whatever. First game I get to see, we starting our second string quarterback, Hoyer. Ass cheek. Got hurt immediately. Got his ass up out of there, and then we bring in our rookie, Zap. Third string QB. Zap. I don't know.
Bailey Zappi.
I don't really know much about him.
He was a stud in college, though.
They say he was. They was talking good about him in college.
50 touchdowns and some shit.
He set the single season record for yards and touchdowns.
Yeah. He had nearly 6,000 yards, some crazy number, and like 50 plus touchdowns or something. But he don't have, his arm is not like fantastic. But he's
they say he had a good college career or whatever. So I was hoping for a little bit, but he started inside the our own 5-yard line for his first play. Decent, had a couple decent drives, scored a few touchdowns, squeaked a few in there. Our defense looked pretty damn good. We was keeping Aaron Rodgers, contained for the most part. Of course, he threw one. How many threw? He threw 2. Got a pick 6 off of him at the end of that first half.
Yeah, that's what
I thought it was like really the Packers are in
danger
trouble
zone.
At that point. You throw a pick 6 again, your chances of winning that game go down drastically at that point.
Well, there was at least 2 this week that didn't happen for because Panthers had a pick 6 and lost still too. But
really?
Get back to the Patriots.
That's how bad. Your offense got to be so trash.
So fucking bad.
The boy Jack Jones he looked pretty good. He's played pretty good defensive DB. But
that was who caught the pick.
Jack Jones. Yeah, he's pretty nice.
Why do that old ass dance though?
What old ass dance he do?
The fucking.
Shit, that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard though.
That's your old as fuck.
That's kind of hard though.
That should take me back to 2012.
Hit him with that flex one time.
I thought I was in high school again. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing this dance?
Hey, man made a play.
Hot tub time machine type
boy
shit.
made a play on Aaron Rodgers. I ain't mad at him. Do whatever dance you want to do. Because that shit was looking dry.
Yeah, right. So like,
hit him with that flex. Hit him with that Dougie one time.
Yeah, it's just John. Yeah, like that's what I thought. John Wall. That's the immediate thoughts right there.
But kept it close. Took the fucking Packers to overtime. Ended up losing by 3 to a field goal or whatever because we couldn't get the ball moving in overtime or whatever. But I was surprised that we actually made it a game. I was not expecting us to be in that game at all, especially with our third string QB in the game.
But
our defense is looking good. Our defense kept us in it pretty much.
Yeah.
Every time
I don't know how to feel about the Packers. Right? Is that wide receiving core that bad?
I think so. I think they'll be towards the top of the NFC all year, but they're not like a legitimate.
Well, the rookie Romeo, I keep on calling him Dobbs. I call him Dubs from Nevada, but he's a good player. But he dropped that touchdown in the end zone.
How does he spell his last name?
It's Doubs.
Yeah,
I bet they're right.
It's more like Dubes.
I bet they're right.
Dubes.
I
say Dubs, Romeo Dubs. But anyway, he dropped the touchdown in the end zone. That shit was right in the. You remember that shit, right?
I seen it.
He was. Aaron Rodgers laid it on him perfectly, and it was one of those like
good ball.
Great ball. 1-2. He had it, and then he just couldn't survive the ground.
Gotta come down with it.
He didn't come down. It's like you gotta make that catch. So that's what really fucked the game up for the Packers at that point. But
but since their receivers are not that good, it didn't make me think like we played outstanding defense. But we was getting a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers throughout the game, so it kept us in it. We sent it to overtime. Wish we could have got that dub. Wouldn't have been a nice steal with our third string QB.
Hell yeah!
But
you needed that one.
Facts. But it is what it is.
Join the 1-3 club, brother.
We here, man.
We're all here. 1-3 unite.
We fucking here, man.
Man, we suck.
Damn. I'm not wasting anybody's time.
I'm just glad at least that one was against y'all. That's what I love about it.
That is a good one.
I'm glad that one was against
1.5.
Hey, I'll take
1.5 and 3.
At least we were supposed to win that game.
At least we got that
one. People could easily say though the Steelers are an injured long snapper away, or like a non-injured long snapper away from being 0-4.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize you were going that direction. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what the truth is though. Like easily. Oh, so yeah.
Not too much else about that game, man.
Though, man.
He does. But we're not talking about the Panthers. The Panthers are so bad. I'm really serious. They're not worth talking about.
I haven't seen a snap.
They're terrible. The only thing that I am excited about with the Panthers is actually J.C. Horn is
he's like the highest rated corner in the
league right now.
Locking motherfuckers up apparently.
Yeah. So I like that. Get Rule the fuck out of here. Let's move on to important games. The last game that we mentioned we were going to get into, I really don't have much to say about. Was the game last night, Kansas City and Tampa. The only thing I had even in my notes is last night looked like that old Mahomes magic that everybody raved about for years.
Oh my God!
While they were like really on their run,
that spin jump.
It wasn't.
Oh my goodness!
That shit was nuts.
That play was
in
ridiculous.
the red zone.
That shit was nuts.
The third down that he completed to Juju while he's being sacked was ridiculous.
Yeah,
like he had multiple plays like that where it's just like, all right, this is one of those moments I'm watching a game and I get to see that he has this special capability that other people don't have.
He's in a different tier.
Yeah.
Like, so when I talk about quarterbacks and shit, and I might say some shit like Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the league, I'm not even talking about Patrick Mahomes. I'm not talking about this dude
is like Kurt.
He in another world.
He just does shit like, yo, he just did that shit for real. Like, he really
but
just
it's
did
normal
that.
for him. I'm sure. Like, he's in another world with this shit. Like, so I'm not considering him when it comes to that, because this dude is all world.
We're not considering a lot of people saying Justin Herbert's the best in the league, but go ahead.
I'm just saying though, like
that little flip touchdown though was like
nobody else is doing that.
It's one of those plays that most other quarterbacks probably run that in and just get the touchdown. Like I think
run through bodies. I think
Josh Allen for sure. He's taking that shit.
He's stepping left.
Thinking about that pass.
He's stepping left so he can hit another defender.
Right.
But nah, it's just stuff like that. It's just nobody else
spun around in a circle
and just kind of flicked it forward.
I was looking at the play. I was like, yo, he gotta be past the fucking. He gotta be past the line, the yard line or something.
He wasn't.
He was still behind that shit. He made that shit happen. Bro, that shit was crazy.
His awareness is fantastic.
On top of all that shit, even as they've lost Tyreek and stuff, and people are questioning the Chiefs in general, still fucking Andy Reid. And Bieniemy, whoever you want to give the credit
41
to.
points,
They ran 2 like trick run plays in the red zone for touchdowns.
Yeah. Those are smart plays.
The one, Mahomes is over here pointing to the left. Yo, you get lined up and somebody else takes a snap.
It's like, yo,
they've
done that before, though. Yeah. They've done that before.
That's a go.
Yeah, I think Kelsey ran it.
Probably.
QB sneak like that.
Quick snap to Kelsey.
It's a smart play, though.
It's a smart play.
Of course, you're going to be focused on Mahomes the whole time. You're not thinking about this motherfucking emotion.
It's a smart play. The QB sneak is the smartest play in football. And I don't know. I don't want to go back to the Steelers game, but I am. I was excited just to see that.
See a QB sneak again.
QB sneak? I haven't seen it in years.
I wasn't, motherfucker.
What do you mean? Oh, he was betting on the touchdown. Yeah, but I mean, I was excited. We ran it a couple times. I was like, oh shit, we actually can run a cube. Why don't all teams should do that shit? 4th and 1. Why would you waste time handing it to your running back?
It's a skill.
QB sneak the shit.
The QB sneak is a skill.
Tom Brady's the best in NFL history at QB sneaking.
It's a skill, but there's no reason for anybody not to have it.
Not to be good, right?
If it's third down on the goal line, on the 1. Like, you should just we're doing a quarterback sneak twice.
That's all you gotta do is reach the ball over.
You just gotta touch the line. Just touch the line, bro.
That's it. Easy. Yeah, so great play call by them, man. I think, like you said, I mean, their offense hasn't skipped a beat. I don't think Kelsey is really what turns it.
He was catching so many passes.
If you can't stop Kelsey, then you're not going to stop that offense.
TD.
Oh, he had at least 5 or 6 in the first quarter. They actually kind of cut off of it a little bit, but I guess you put up 41 effortlessly. It's like, why not?
I was telling y'all, without Tariq, it makes them more dangerous because now Mahomes could just do whatever. You don't have to focus on one receiver. Okay. Like, of course, Kelsey's going to be there, but it's like he's going to move that ball around, man.
Yeah, Kelsey he's getting appeal to different guys, and I mean, he got deep threats out there. Juju's, he's good. I think they're gonna have more guys emerge as the season. You know, you see him he threw a shot at the Steelers and shit.
No, Juju did.
Well, I don't think it was intentional, but that one of the analysts or sideline reporters was like, I talked to Juju Smith-Schuster this week, and he said that he's learned more about offense his little time with the Kansas City Chiefs than his entire 5 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I believe it.
Yeah,
I mean, I believe that.
I'm sure the Chiefs packages are way more crazier than what y'all was doing the last few years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, they look like the Chiefs. What can you say? They're going to be somebody
rough up with the coach last week, but how y'all feel about Brady, man? The Bucs.
I was just about to say, and like Brady balled out last night. He had 385 yards.
He did. 3 TDs, no picks.
But at the same time, they were down.
It was late. It was late joints.
But that's what I was saying that's what I was going to say.
You're right. It was never close.
It was never in question. Yeah. Like the Chiefs kind of just seemed like, hey, you put up however many you want. We'll go higher.
Right.
You gonna put up 50? That's cool. We'll go 65. It ain't no thing.
Yeah. Right.
But 385 yards is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he looked.
They got their weapons back too. Godwin was back.
Godwin was back. Mike
Evans
Evans
back
played.
from suspension. Yeah.
I don't know.
But they look outclassed.
Yeah, I don't expect. Again, I don't really expect much from the Bucs this year, but I still think they're a pretty solid team overall.
Yeah. They still got a chance in the NFC for sure.
Yeah, well, they're gonna win the division regardless.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
the Saints
that's what it looks
aren't
like.
even competitive either.
They look terrible. But so, yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, we did a little bit better job. We still cut it down less than what we have been doing on football. We're a little over an hour right now, so we can go into the next couple of topics here. We had discussed a couple weeks ago when the Dahmer documentary, or not documentary, show, whatever you want to call it, on Netflix came out. We were gonna watch that as a pod.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all finished with it though?
Carl here is slipping.
Yeah, I finished it last week.
Oh fuck, man!
Finished it last night. I put in work the last 2 days to get it done, and then Carl says, I'm on episode 3.
I got like 7 episodes left.
That shit ain't really even got good yet. Then if you on like 2 or 3,
yeah, I'm just starting out.
Yeah,
I mean, I know the story though.
Yeah, I figured it's enough.
Because whenever I start watching some like true crime shit, I gotta see what really happened.
Wait till I finish
before the shit's even over with. I want to know what really fucking happened.
Oh, so you didn't know prior to this show?
I mean, I knew who Jeffrey Dahmer was, but it's different. Like, you know how that shit is, like the details and stuff. Like, this motherfucker could have been caught a long time ago. What's going on? You know, shit like that.
Motherfucker was wilding.
What would you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, I give it a 9.
All right, so I think I might be just on the outs on this because I haven't seen anybody say anything bad about it. I don't want to say it was bad. I give it a 6 out of 10. I thought it was super average at best. I thought it was way too slow with the pacing.
I think 10 episodes is a bit much.
I thought it. I mean, yeah, I thought they should have. I thought it should have been shorter. I thought.
Maybe the first couple episodes, they was kind of dragging it, like his upbringing and all that shit, which I get it. They was trying to humanize him, how he came up and shit that he was doing. But it was like, all right, could have cut right to it.
I thought it got even worse later on.
For real.
It's a terrible example, but like...
Yeah, once he got arrested, it kind of got chill.
Well, there was one of the episodes when they first introduced the deaf character. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, the mad spoiler is coming out. If you weren't smart enough to know that, then that's on you. That's
a word on this motherfucker. We let the beans spill, for sure.
But when the deaf dude comes on, he's obviously one of the victims. They start the show with like a 9-minute deaf scene of just complete silence. And it's just like them sitting around the table kind of talking. It's like, yo, what is the point of this scene? I got no problems with the silence and like bringing us into the deaf world and stuff. It was like, what is the point of this scene? It was almost a 10-minute scene. And by the end of it, I was just like, that was just completely pointless. You could have told this story without that entire scene. And I felt like there was a lot of those throughout the show. The show was acted really well. I mean, the guy killed the part. Like, he seemed super believable as this weirdo nutcase.
You've never watched American Horror Story, though?
No, I haven't.
That dude's in every season of American Horror Story. He's a fantastic actor. He's played, like, serial killers and stuff like that.
I've seen a bunch of memes and stuff about the different killers he's been.
Mentally, he's probably pretty fucked up, but he does a fucking excellent job. And shit like that. So, they definitely casted the right dude for it, for sure.
I found his name, Evan Peters.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of him before that, but he did really. It was a good show. I finished it and I was like, I honestly, if we weren't doing it for the pod, I might have stopped watching it. Maybe 6 or 7 in.
I thought it was pretty good, man. I thought he did a good job. Do want to call it a little double standard about this guy Evan and how well they say he playing this gay ass, slaughtering ass, cannibal ass actor, and they want to shit on my boy LaFonz, my boy Lil Murder.
Who was that?
For playing the gay role.
Who was that?
Y'all.
No, this is different.
Well, shit on him playing the gay. He's been bodying his role as Little Murder. But because, he got to be gay for real in real life. Say the same shit about this Evan guy.
Can I take the first step?
Take the first step. That shit too well.
I believe Carl most strongly voiced his opinion, and I echoed that I was with him when we were talking about shooting gay sex scenes. Playing a gay character in and of itself, I don't think is what Carl made him say, nah, that actor's gay for real. But there wasn't any sex scenes for this guy.
There wasn't any sex scenes, but he was doing gay shit.
He was.
The whole fucking shit.
Was he doing gay shit? I don't even know is Jeffrey Dahmer really gay? Because that was never really proven. I mean, I guess I've only seen like the first 3 episodes.
The thing I don't like about the show,
he was gay.
which I guess is probably not necessary. It wasn't a lot of explicit scenes going on. It was like they were like show you that this shit's about to go, because they would show that he's about to have sex with the dead body, because obviously he had sex with the dead body. This is why what he liked about the shit, but they never really showed the shit.
Yeah,
they would like hint to it and then would go to another scene.
So you wanted to see that part?
I didn't want to see it, but it's like, why don't y'all show it? Y'all show the shit in any other show.
I know exactly what you meant, but when you chose that
they'll show the shit. It's like, why they didn't stop it once it's about to happen with him? I guess because it was a dead body. I guess they might think it was too far or something.
No, I think it is victim related.
Yeah, I guess,
because I have seen a lot of backlash towards the show just in general, because of all the victims' families and stuff. LGBTQ, of course, got all upset about having any affiliation with it and stuff. It apparently was like in their under their category on Netflix. It was like an LGBTQ
they did?
movie.
Oh, that's wild. Wow. I mean, hey, he was fucking with gay dudes, though. That's what he was getting.
I saw Charlamagne was doing whatever show he does now, the Comedy Central or something. Yeah. So he was talking to two gay people. I don't know who they are within the industry or whatever, but they're guests on his panel and stuff. They're talking about it and the show and it being removed and stuff. And he's like, well, isn't it fair that like we represent, isn't it representation of the gay community, good stuff and bad stuff?
Yeah.
And I forget what dude even had as his response, but if the character is gay,
it is.
Right, facts. It is what it is. Hey,
he had gay partners. He was getting.
Don't discriminate now.
I don't know if it's a gay show, but it's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't think the show was.
They call him P Valley gay show. That's a gay show too. He was picking up gay dudes at the gay bar and killing them.
Hey, look. That's what I'm telling you, man. Bad decisions. These are bad decisions. What makes you want to go home with this weird motherfucker? It's bad decisions. He gonna pay. He say he gonna pay you. That's a red flag right there. Pay you to
take some pictures.
That's a red flag.
$50.
No, that's a red flag, man.
This is not gonna work.
Bad decision making.
I'm gonna say this, and then Carl's is gonna laugh it off and not pay any attention anyway. But you gotta keep in mind the time period.
Yeah.
Not saying it's a good decision. I'm just saying. I don't know exactly the time period, if it was 70s or 60s or what.
He got all his murders was from 78 to 1991 or 1992.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the same.
About a 12-year span or something like that.
Wasn't the same world that we live in
have cell phones.
as far as trusting people and it is what it is though.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Maybe it was like that until your ass tied up somewhere, then when you think about all of that shit, then bad decisions. Don't go home with strangers, man.
I thought it was crazy how much of this stuff he did while living in an apartment.
Yeah, all of that shit's in the fucking apartment.
He never had his own
How
place.
He's picking him up. It's like he ain't really had no game though.
None.
Will you imagine somebody weird as that fuck?
Like he was bagging. Like how many people did he kill?
Like
17, 14 I believe, confirmed or something. Definitely in hot
I guess they ain't gonna show the ones that he didn't get. So I don't know how good his fucking shot was.
Right, that's true.
But the way he was bagging them, it was like real life shit. And they was like, all right, I'm coming.
17 bodies is more than most people got.
Well, I would again go back to the time period thing though. Before gay was like acceptable.
Yeah,
it's like a whole underground thing. Hey, you're one of us. Bad.
What like we doing tonight?
Yeah, it wasn't as widely just.
I think it's fucked up that he targeted like mostly African Americans and shit.
He was living in the hood.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Like, man, realistically,
which I think that plays a part in how he was getting them, because he was offering people money. Motherfuckers that need money. I'll take this $50 to go back to the joint with you.
Written situations.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was smart about that. I mean, it was well calculated, I guess. But damn, I mean, somebody should have whooped his ass a long time ago. Like, this dude ain't got no muscle mass or nothing. Y'all should probably be here kicking his ass. But
he was working out and shit.
He drugged him and stuff.
He was working out a lot. Motherfucker really? Was staying fit. Yeah,
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, he must have got there. He was working out like a motherfucker.
I thought it was super weird when they put John Wayne Gacy in it.
Right.
Not like I had a problem with it or anything. It was just super random. Just all of a sudden, I think one of the episodes starts with John Wayne Gacy, the clown guy.
I see how they put it in there though, because like,
did they know each other?
He was getting a death sentence.
Yeah.
Well, he was about to get killed around the same time he had got locked up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of referenced it, but rather than like just mentioning it like in a police station or something, like they showed an entire scene of John Wayne Gacy getting ready to kill somebody.
Oh yeah, why did they do that?
I guess it explains to you why he like kind of like they was comparing them.
Yeah,
because they was doing the same fucked up shit to people.
It was in regard to sentencing. He got the death penalty. John Wayne Gacy did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Dahmer was saying he wished he was given the death penalty.
Yeah, he didn't. Just got
like he was trying to get it. Once he got caught and he was arrested, he was like, "You should just kill me," and they didn't.
Well, I mean, he died in prison.
Yeah, well, the inmate said, "Bet, I got you."
Yeah,
but the state never sentenced him to.
I seen that shit.
I think they gave him life.
Like a couple episodes before, where motherfuckers was looking at him when he started doing wild shit in the cafeteria.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, they gonna get his ass."
Yeah,
he gonna be in here wild.
It was one dude who killed him. Right?
Yeah, it's one dude.
He killed two people at the same time. You know that though, right?
Yeah. We seen the whole show.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they showed that shit in the show.
They did. They showed him and another dude. It was like right before. It was in the same room.
Yeah. Like he just because he found out that they were like targeting black people or whatever, I guess, or I forgot what the other dude he killed. That killed his wife or something like that. He said. I forgot what he said.
I believe it was like religious related.
Something, I don't know.
Like the guy that, at least the way he's portrayed in the show, and then I was trying to read some stuff afterwards, he was saying like he just saw them as such dark, evil filth or whatever that he killed him in the show.
My man already had a life sentence anyway.
They present him on the show as like he's got a cross around his neck and he's praying mad episodes and stuff like that.
Dahmer just got baptized while he was locked up. Like he just gave his life to God, and my man ain't fuck with that shit. So he ain't about to get saved. Like, you cleansed now after all that shit you did.
Oh no, you ain't no coming back.
He was supposedly like
that's the line I draw. Like, no, come on now, God don't forgive those kind of sins. I don't know. Who am I to judge? But at the same time, like, come on, bro, you can't come back from that.
I don't think you gonna let your shit slide,
bro. You can't let that shit slide. Hell is for you.
I think that's what most people think.
It's gotta be for you. Who's saving this guy?
Feel that way. I don't, but I think that is the. I think
it's gotta be. Come on.
Some shit can't fly.
What else did you have? Anything in particular about the show that you found interesting or shocking?
I'm trying to think of what I thought was funny. Oh, my man's that got away. That the man's was doing the gyrating.
That was
when he took his shirt off. His
he was trying.
Whatever you got to do to get up out that motherfucker.
Successfully,
my man was like, "Shit, I'm gonna find a way to get about this motherfucker because this motherfucker is nuts." And then he started gyrating around. He said, "You want to take some pictures, right?" That shit was hilarious. He got a bite of there though. He got a bite of there. I think that was the one that ended up getting him caught, right?
Yeah,
because he didn't drink. He didn't drink the entire drink or whatever. He didn't drug himself.
Yeah, he didn't drink
so he helped himself out with that. The thing that pissed me off the most, I guess, this is early on, was when they had the opportunity to lock this motherfucker up with a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And that really happened. I don't know if it happened in person, but the police did investigate it, and they was like, "Ma'am," on the police call, one of his neighbors was like, "Hey, did you see the boy?"
They say it in the show too.
Yeah, it was like, "Did you see the boy, ma'am? That's his lover." Blah blah blah. I checked it out. Everything's on. She's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
Clearly a boy.
And he was like, "Yes, ma'am. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure." Like, everybody know a 14-year-old motherfucker when they see one. As even if it's an old looking like teenager, you be like, "Yo, this dude is clearly young."
Yeah.
I don't get that part. Like,
speaking, I think you brought that up earlier about how the times about gay people wasn't really involved or whatever. Dahmer played into that shit whenever the cops would come around.
Yeah,
when they would come to his apartment, he was like, "It's a whole bunch of gay shit." In here. He was like, "What are you doing? It's just a bunch of gay stuff." In here. And my man's the officer was that one scene. The officer was like, "Now we gotta go fucking take a shower and shit after we left your apartment." And they barely even walked in his apartment and looked around and shit. They didn't touch nothing.
Yeah, I think that was like, kind of around the same time as what you were talking about.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. The only thing I came up with as far as like, why wouldn't they look into that further other than just being shit at their job or whatever?
Terrible.
With that gay shit.
That lady mentioned, I think I get the vibe she calls the cops on everything. Probably throughout the show, she was like, I called y'all 15 times or some shit. And it's like, I wonder if there was just like
fatigue.
A boy you cry wolf type thing. All right, shut up, lady. But I liked, after I watch a documentary or a show in this case, I actually like to look it up, same as you, to find out kind of what really happened. But I also like just to fact check it. Yeah. Like, what parts did they change in here to make it like a good show?
Yeah,
and what part was really different? The biggest like difference that I had read about from real life was that Niecy Nash character that played the neighbor.
They weren't a neighbor.
Yeah, they weren't neighbors.
She lived like across the street
or something. And
oh, really?
She did report him for things that she thought were suspicious or whatever, but it wasn't her next door neighbor with this strange smell coming out the house.
It kind of kills that scene of her being right there and smelling the fucking dead bodies and shit.
Yeah, apparently the smell-wise, there was a lot of chemicals that he had to get rid of the bodies and stuff.
I would assume.
But there wasn't like this rotten flesh type of smell coming from his apartment.
He would have got caught immediately. Yeah,
right.
That was the case. Yeah, but apparently it was a terrible smell in his place. That's what the guy testified. Yeah. I looked.
I'm sure it was inside there. Fuck it.
Yeah. Once you walked in there, there's some shit going on.
Oh, I had some barbecue last night.
He was using the same lines every time. Well, I had some spoiled meat.
I won't make it that way again.
I some spoiled meat I had last week.
I really love pork chops, and my family sent me a bunch of pork chops, and they all went bad.
And son,
what the fuck?
And he was like a butcher. He worked in the butcher shop too. This motherfucker was nuts, bro.
Oh, that was the one on the scene that I thought was really, well, not funny, but looking back, it was funny when he went to serve her with the sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I'll eat it later. And he's like, no, eat it now. She's like, I'm not eating this sandwich. Like, she eventually refuses to, but I did read that
it's like some pulled pork. It's
like some what? Either it is or it's not.
Just a random sandwich wrapped in foil. They just brought it as a sandwich, and she was like, "Nah, dog, I ain't about to eat that shit."
They said that part was true. That he was kind of known for giving out sandwiches to his neighbors.
Yeah, that's nuts. He was trying to get
too much meat.
He was trying to get other people to eat that shit, bro. That's wild.
Just wanted somebody else to be in on it
and enjoy the shit. Like, maybe I'm not fucking weird,
right?
That's why.
How'd that taste?
How that tastes? I want to see you eat it. I want to see how you like it, if you like it or not.
He was wild, son.
Ain't no way I wouldn't have been able to whoop his ass, though. Okay, come on, bro.
You would have.
Ain't no way.
I believe you would have.
We would have got the fuck up out of there, no problem. Yeah. Like, who the fuck you think you is, dog? No, crazy shit, though.
That motherfucker Dahmer is a wild boy.
But that shit makes me wonder, like, how much shit, like, because this motherfucker went on for years doing that shit. Like, how much shit like that is going on today that we just don't know about yet, and the fucking movie's gonna come out 10 years later.
He would have been got caught if it happened today.
Oh, I mean, for sure, but I'm just saying, like, but it's somebody doing something to that extent.
Yeah.
Right now, as we speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something just as crazy. Somebody's finally, you know.
Maybe it's
always something.
There's a serial killer right now,
for sure.
Like, I don't know where they are.
For sure.
Nobody else may be aware, but there's somebody that is just serial killing people.
Maybe somebody you know.
Yeah, that is wild.
That's the really wildest shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's somebody do this motherfucker and probably somewhat cool with them. So, Jeffrey's a nice guy.
Yeah.
You don't know what somebody do at their crib.
Never know.
Yep. Well, we can keep moving off of that. It was a good little show. We'll have to keep an eye out for other things that we can check out and review as a pod. But We have another new segment idea here that Carl's come up with. We're going to do a live reaction to a new song that dropped on Friday. So we chose a song Friday. We haven't listened to it. We're going to take a little quick pod break to check this out, and we'll be back. Roddy Ricch, Stop Breathing is the new single that just came out on Friday. Just gave it a listen. Roddy's back. I mean, we said it. You said it either last week or the week before.
Yeah.
He's had quite a few features that he's been killing lately.
Yeah.
That song was fire. And that sounded like something he could have put on the last album. And it sounds like it would have fit. That's the Roddy I like.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like the lines in it were more cohesive than like the prior Roddy singles that we heard, where it was just a bunch of like, I mean, he's still doing Roddy Ricch talking shit like that or whatever, but it wasn't any bars where it was like, all right, man, that was just fucking stupid. Right. You know, I felt like that was
number 9.
Yeah, no number 9 wings. Like, that's not a number 9 everywhere you go.
That number 9, boy.
McDonald's don't have no wings, bro. But yeah, I thought it was a really good song. I hate that it was so short, though.
So short. It finished, and Carl was like, wait, that was the end of it?
That was it?
Stop breathing.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tight song, man. I liked it a lot. He sounds good when he says season for somewhere. That shit sounds really good.
You got that song every season.
Season? That shit sounds good, bro.
It sounded like he was doing his Dej Loaf just now.
Yeah. That was
Fondly.
Yeah. That was a great
I like
track.
the record, man. Like I said, he got a dope record with on YG's album too that just came out with Post Malone. Shit is fire. He smoked that shit. Like the last probably 4 or 5 features I heard Roddy on. He been going crazy.
Is that a brand new song?
Yeah, YG dropped his album Friday.
I did see the album drop. I'm surprised I didn't notice that one.
Yeah, that's a good record. You gotta check that one out. That shit
guys.
Fire. Yeah. Good collab. But Roddy back in his bag. Sound like Feed the Streets to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping.
I'm ready for more.
When is the album? Has he announced anything regarding the album yet?
I don't think he announced no date or nothing, but I think he is dropping another Feed the Streets though.
Yeah. The Feed the Streets 3, I guess would it be?
3.
Yeah. Feed the Streets 2 is. I mean, I can run. That shit is fire, bro.
Yeah.
So if he on that type of wave, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that shit fly.
I like that. I
told people, don't let that narrative get you out of here, Roddy. Just keep doing what you do and get back in your bag like he is. He gonna be all right. People tried to kill him off that. Like, he was done. He could never make good music again.
He probably took some of those chains off, because I feel like that was restricting.
Fucking up his vocal cords.
Those are that and like blood flow to his brain or something. Like,
he's
had to be doing something.
He was getting a little ridiculous. He's real Mr. T-ish with the chains.
Yeah, take some of the chains off and you'll be all right. Go back to the struggle Roddy or something, you know? When he was grinding every season and shit. I like that.
Every season.
That just sounds good, man.
It did, man. It did. I'm ready for new Roddy now. I'm back on.
Yeah.
Excited that we're getting the guy that we all enjoyed the music of.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like still a young artist. Gotta let that man grow.
For sure. I mean, what Roddy's 25, 26 years old or something like that. So, yeah, I think he's at least 25.
Something like that.
Yeah. Good track.
Yes, indeed.
I hear Mr. Tory Lanez dropped an album on Friday.
That boy did.
I'll be honest, this is one I didn't get to yet. I just didn't have enough
There's
time.
a lot of fucking songs.
Yes, I was 20 as well.
A lot of
fucking songs.
How was it, though? Did you guys enjoy the project?
How many records? 20 records.
Sorry for what? Yeah, it's
Tory don't miss, man.
It's not. I haven't heard the entire thing. I'm at least over halfway through.
This is a lot more rapper Tory, though.
Okay. It's a good blend.
The second half got some more R&B joints.
I think it's a good blend. Even the rapping songs, he get into a singing bag, of course. Like, I think he does a good job of like marrying the two styles. The entire album. Of course, you get. I don't even know if I could really call it a Drake influence on some of those earlier songs in there, because it might just be a Toronto thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they have in common.
Yeah. So,
but you hear a lot of that. I guess that Nothing Was the Same kind of soundish in there early on, but overall, I mean, it's a. I didn't hear any bad songs. I didn't hear any skips when I was listening to it. Some really get you vibing to it, bopping, and of course, Tory can rap really well, so that part is really good too. I liked it. I like the he has a couple like Lil Wayne samples. where he's sampling bars from Lil Wayne's early on, Lick the Lollipop, and then another one where, where Lil Wayne like bites the apple. I forgot what song it is where I'm eating rappers. I eat every rapper, and it sounds like he biting an apple or something like that.
Wayne
Show me my opponent. That's the stunt like my daddy bar. Yeah. He's still that.
Wayne is Dahmer.
Yeah. That type of shit. For sure, yeah. So he bites that line ironically. And then
see what you did.
He also it was an Eminem sample in there as well too.
Was it? Really? I don't think I heard that one.
What's the Eminem I can't think of it now, but he definitely has an Eminem sample. And
he used that Kanye shit, and I think it was in Jesus Walks. The niggas. He was using that in the song.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to that part yet. But yeah, he got a few of them in there. It was like, yeah, I like shit like that though, because it quickly makes songs more relatable, connecting dots and shit. And you're like, I know that.
That's like his bag,
right?
To connect dots and shit, use them samples, use them little snippets.
But to me,
and shit.
it shows me students of the craft type shit. Like you or not like you paying homage and shit to a certain extent. Just like hey, this is where I got it from. These are the guys I looked up to. These are the songs that inspired me to make more music and stuff like that. And I think that's important for music and stuff and evolution and like. For the youth to understand, like, this came from something,
Yeah. Shit, early 2000s, that's old school now.
Yeah.
Anything from there, that's old. That's
crazy. 20 years old.
For sure. It's throwback. But yeah, Tory fire, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
What do y'all think about he's on the DJ Academics podcast.
I did see that.
He did an interview. I haven't listened to the interview. I heard a clip about it. He's talking about being blackballed.
He's still getting blackballed, but he fighting through it.
Well, but he's saying like 80% of your favorite artists gets their streams through playlists. Is what he's saying, and he's not getting any of that. Do y'all think that's true? Or
the playlist is new radio.
You think so?
If you're on the thorough playlist or whatever, what's the shit on Spotify? The Rap Caviar.
Yeah.
If you're on one of them playlists where your shit drops, your shit gonna do that. Your streams gonna go up.
That's I do think the playlist helps the artist or whatever.
You're gonna.
But do you think that's really? Do you think it's 80% though of artist streams? I think that's a little much. I think that's inflated.
With that and your album or shit being on the front page as soon as you open your shit up, that should help your streams.
I'm sure that
just being
that
seen
does.
first.
Exposure does.
Yeah.
But no doubt. But your boy Russ said that that's simply not true.
The playlist thing?
Yeah, he challenged that like on Academics post. Like he wrote a long ass post about it on Academics Instagram.
Well, Russ is different because he's a successful independent artist.
Well, and I mean he challenged it regarding all artists though. He was just like, this is simply not true. He was like, if you can't be blackballed if your fan base is strong enough.
That's true too.
That's what he's saying pretty much. It's
both can be true.
That's what I was going to say. Though.
At a certain point.
Yeah. When you had asked about the playlist thing, that makes sense to me because like you're going to sell to the people that know about you already, that like you. But there are a whole bunch of people that are just like, I like hip hop.
For sure.
Put me on to the new songs. And you're hearing all the hot artists come through on that playlist, and they're not one of them. There probably is a ton of reach that you're not going to get from it.
I feel like a lot of people just listen to what they tell you to listen to. What's already set right there for you to listen to.
Yeah, there's so much out there.
If you don't follow Tory, nothing about Tory, you know he dropped the album.
Yeah.
Like you're not searching for Tory's album and see what he dropped.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, this is perfect because the next topic we were going to mention is the claims that have come the last couple of days of DaBaby being blackballed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should let y'all go first, so I'll just give my opinion. I don't see his the same. I think I don't know, it kind of depends on what are you defining as blackballed? To me, Tory fits that description more because he's not getting any of the playlist stuff that you talked about. Yeah. Moss was just talking about being able just to find the album. When your album drops and you can't be found in the hip hop category, you have to go look for that artist.
And DaBaby's album was on a new release when it dropped.
Right.
It was right there in front.
That's what I was going to say. Is to me, DaBaby has gotten himself into trouble and refuses to back down from any of it and continues to compound things to where you can't ask for industry help or industry connections to people that you're burning bridges with. Tory, I believe, actually has been blackballed in the sense that he's not getting this, and it's simply based off of an allegation with the M.A.C.
I think, I think Tory's situation may be slightly different, but for the most part, when we're talking about artists being blackballed, it's a lot of what they did to themselves.
Yeah, I think
you know what I'm saying. It's a lot of you just turn people off. You got to think about how much of the baby's streams or revenue or whatever, or just attention, were coming from a female base. He females used to love the baby. Yeah, but after you said what you said, or then kind of sparks issue with the LGBT community or whatever, and then
he hit a girl.
Did he?
Yeah, he stole a girl in some show. Yeah. He just hit the girl. He hit a girl.
Well, I think the biggest issue is probably that thing with Danny Lee on Instagram. Yeah. That's gonna leave a sour taste in most females' mouth when you see something like that.
That bad guy shit, man. You gotta live and die by that.
Yeah, for sure.
And that shit catch up to you.
If you're gonna live as the bad guy, you have to live as the bad guy, not needing the approval of anybody else.
Exactly.
Right. So I don't want to hear you complain afterwards about selling 16,000 albums when you've been putting up numbers.
Right.
Because DaBaby also got a whole gang of placements, recognition, whatever you want to call it, that other rappers were not getting.
Right, for sure.
He
still got hits that's spinning though.
He was blessed as we're pulling you into the pop world, reap these benefits. And he was like, nah, fuck that. And now is kind of seeing what happens. So to me, that's why I was saying, if it's artist, if it's like self-inflicted, I don't consider that blackball.
Right.
But it's the same idea, I suppose.
I mean, it's still the result of whatever.
That makes sense.
But the big issue is just the drop off. I think he did like 100K or something his last drop first week, and for this to drop to go to 17K, that's a huge fall off.
Well, he doesn't have a big single on there either. That really pushes.
He tried to use that Meg shit.
The Meg lookalike. He banked all on the Meg lookalike and the I fucked Megan Thee Stallion bar, and it just didn't sell.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to work. Like I said, I think initially he had a huge female fan base, and that's probably died off a time. I mean, apparently it has. Yeah, that's clear.
People still fuck with Meg too,
right? And I also think though. Just going back to my initial issue with DaBaby, man, you gotta display more versatility. I know he did that. He has jumped in that, but as of late, this entire album is just DaBaby shit. That fucking Barney Rubble Bop type shit. Like, that's what it is.
It's just a sound.
That's what it is. But I'm just saying, like, you gonna get a fatigue to that shit though. It's just like, all right, I done heard this before. I done heard all of this that you could possibly offer. So I think that has something to do with it. It may not be significant or as significant as the other stuff. Of course, it's not. But it has to do. I think it has some role in it.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think everything compounds.
Right.
You're going to turn off some people with the same flow. You're going to lose people on saying gay shit. You're going to lose people on hitting women. Yeah. You're going to lose people on subject matter. Like, if you're losing a certain amount of people off of 17 different things, all of a sudden you've lost a massive fan base.
It might be 2% of each one of these things.
Yeah, right. It's too many reasons why people don't want to fuck with you. Yeah, you give people too many reasons to say, I'm good on this game.
Right, exactly. Right, for sure. But ultimately, like I said, all artists do that shit to themselves. Like, I can never make an excuse, or like Kodak's never been blackballed. If Kodak goes and says some stupid shit to where people don't want to listen to the next thing he has to fucking say again.
We're going to get into Kodak in a little bit.
I mean, but that's what it is though. It's just like but he continuously does that type of stuff though.
Continuously.
And so at that point, it's like, all right, I can't feel sorry for you, or nobody's blackballing you. People just don't want to hear you no more because of what you said.
Yeah.
And then you've lost interest. People have a short attention span to begin with nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's nothing for them to just turn you off after you say some shit they don't like.
Completely agreed.
Freddie Gibbs, Soul Separately album drops. I was waiting on this one.
Yeah, did you need
Freddie
a bathroom
hadn't
break?
dropped in like...
Did you need a bathroom break? Me and Moss gonna talk.
Step on that.
You have to relax. Me and Moss gonna talk for a minute.
Freddie had dropped in it was 2 years? Like 2 years since Alfredo came out.
Really?
Yeah, that was the Grammy nominated joint.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a couple years since he dropped. Finally gave us another album. Shit is fire. Went crazy. All the features was hard.
The opening track was so fire. It got some old school soul sample shit on there. Beautiful.
Whenever you see Kelly Price on the feature with a rapper that can rap, you know it's gonna go crazy. You know it's gonna go crazy.
That joint was fire. The push track obviously is fire.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had Kelly Price on the single though.
He had first song.
He was the one that he's got the song with Anderson .Paak and Raekwon.
Yep.
Joint was fire
that shit hard.
too.
That shit hard.
I only listened to the album once when I was grocery shopping Saturday morning, but I was thoroughly impressed off of one listen. And
yeah,
that's
ain't
not
really no
usually my
skips
thing.
to me. Ain't really no skips at all.
I think
Every single record.
Gibbs seems like a guy you either love or hate.
Yeah,
because he does. I think the way he makes songs is really, really good. But he does use some like repetitive features in a lot of his songs that I think people either gonna like.
You have a Ross feature. You have a Pusha feature on there.
The Ross feature was fire.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
As soon as they came out, I was like,
Scarface feature on this joint. I thought that shit was crazy.
I don't have the same high regard for Scarface that a lot of people do.
Scarface, man. One of my favorite whole tracks was that Guess Who's Bazak jump with Scarface.
Yeah.
Because they both went crazy on that.
That's a dope song.
Yeah.
And I do like what was it? It's a Tupac song with Scarface. It was after.
He got a lot of features that he didn't do has been crazy.
Yeah,
I like that song a lot.
Isn't that somebody
Gangsta Paradise or some shit like that? Or something.
That's what's up.
Not Coolio.
Gangsta Paradise or RP Coolio.
Not Coolio.
Good point.
Something else is the name, but yeah.
Yeah, good album, man. Go check that shit out. Freddie rapping on that shit. Hard records.
Not gonna lie, I mean the two songs I heard prior to us recording sounded pretty good. I mean, but I've always thought that Freddie Gibbs is a talented rapper. I've never said that. I mean, he's always been his flow is.
It's got a unique flow.
It's unmatched, really. I mean, he got a.
I don't even want to say solo flow. Like I feel like he just gets on and rides the beat.
Yeah, really well. I mean, he's always been able to do that since the first time Jeezy rolled him out there. I'm like, this dude is the truth. Yeah. I just don't listen to frauds. That's it.
To frauds.
Good enough.
Listen to frauds.
Well, we'll continue the fruitless conversation here with Carl out of it. Just want to throw it out there. Kid Cudi put out an album. Haven't heard it, but the part that I thought was more interesting is he has a Netflix movie to go with it. That's an animated joint. The style, if you want to call it that, was supposed to be similar to Into the Spider-Verse. I thought that animation stuff was dope. He's the main character, obviously. Ty Dolla $ign, Tiana Taylor. There was like a couple other musicians playing other roles. It was a decent movie, though, if you're into animated shit.
Nice. I ain't checked out his album yet, but I might see what that movie talking about. See a couple features from Don Toliver on there.
Yeah, I gotta check that. You know, Don's my
Ty
guy.
Dolla $ign on there.
But
let's see what Cudi talking about.
Running low on time here. P&B Rock.
Yeah.
Fill me in on what's going on. Last week we had talked. He had just passed away.
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
Well, his killers have been arrested, and it's a whole fucking family: a father, son, and mother-in-law, or stepmother.
What?
Yeah. Apparently, how it was the father seen P&B going into Roscoe's out in the parking lot. It wasn't over the internet. They just seen him going in with his chains.
He was already there.
Yeah, he was already there. They just seen him pull up. So the father decides to go pick up his 17-year-old son to come back to rob him. Sends his 17-year-old son in there to do the robbery while he's the drive-off getaway car or whatever. What? They still haven't said what the stepmother has to do with it yet. But that's wild that you sending your kid in there to go rob somebody in broad daylight for they shit in a restaurant. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's insane.
What is wrong with you?
Is the allegation that the son shot him?
The son shot him. The 17-year-old.
That is.
Yeah, they sent the 17-year-old to do dirty work.
Wow. What a piece of shit.
That's
piece of shit, dog.
But I mean, you said that's how it's done in the streets, though. Like, that's why all these motherfuckers they big homies. These motherfuckers 40 plus years old.
This ain't no big. That's your dad.
Saying, but this is how it's done. But I'm just saying that's how it's done in the streets, though. Like the big homies, these motherfuckers be 45. They're really bums. 45-year-old men out here that having teenagers do their dirty work.
Yeah, the rest of their life.
That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like. That's the fucked up part about the environments that they are bred in. Like, this is normal to them, and it's probably was normal to him to have. He won't look at him like his son at that point in time. Probably it's just like, this is what we do.
Go make this lit.
Yeah, right. You're a soldier at this point. Like, you gotta earn your stripes. Blah blah blah. Like, but that's crazy. Really the bummed out.
He could have been a fan of PNB. He might like some of his music. That probably so, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, gonna make him go rob him, bro. Yeah, kill him crazy. And shit. That shit is nuts.
Yeah, it's dirty.
That's the kind of stuff. Real quick, and Carl's mentioned this before when we've talked about Kodak and stuff. That I think about that. Like, when I hear something like that, I think about the 17-year-old. That's the father he grew up with. Like that. Right. That's who taught him right and wrong. Nothing compared to how I was brought up and all of the stuff my dad did to teach me right and wrong the right way. It just is crazy to think about. Not everybody is born into a circumstance where they have a parental figure that you could count on.
Right, because right or wrong is relative. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was right for them to see somebody shot in with ice and to rob them. Like, this is what we do. Because it's like, that's how we eat here. So how do we... And it's just fucked up. But at the same time, it's like, yo, it's just... people are products of their environment. And that tells you just that. Like, I was just talking to a guy at work the other day about how, you know, these kids in inner city and shit are really smart individuals, and if you gave them a fucking calculator and an accounting book, these motherfuckers could easily run a company. But somebody gave them a pound instead when they were 8 years old. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like
the mathematics, boy.
Right. I know motherfuckers like literally who were bagging dope at 6 years old, like before they could even do mathematics well, they knew how to weigh shit up on a scale. Right. And so, what do you expect that person to be?
Who bars?
I'm just saying, what do you expect that person to be at 14, 15 years old? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is
a hustler.
That's all they know. Yeah. And they become extremely good at this shit, and it's fucked up.
I always remember it's a scene on The Wire where it's actually Michael B. Jordan. His Wallace is on The Wire. He's a young kid at the time, and he's looking after all his kids and stuff, or his brothers and sisters. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to help his little brother with his math homework, and dude's just not getting it at all. And he's like, "You got 5 pills. Dude picks up this. Other dude calls for the re-up. He asks for this, that. What's your count?" He's like, 76. And he's like, "How did you know all that shit? You can't do your fucking math homework." He's like, "You mess up the count, you get fucked up."
Work.
It's just like, wow, it's just like an entire... You'll be some shit. Right. I mean, it's just a mindset that you just don't think about unless... You were brought up that way.
Right. They have to know how to do that, because if they fuck up this work, it's on their ass.
Right. Yo, bro, my cousin, like, his mom used to tell him, like, you weigh the shit up and it better be fucking right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna get his ass whooped if the shit, like, that shit's a different. I mean, imagine you 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, the most feeble state of your mind. You know, this is
whatever you tell me.
This all you take it in. You know, so it's just, you can, at some point, I get that these people become adults and they have to take responsibility for what they've done and or what they do and all of that stuff. But at the same time, it's just like it's all they know. So
it's sick.
Yeah.
Well, off of that happening, which I guess is good that they got arrested or whatever. Kodak got hopped up on the internet.
Of course, somebody got to take his Instagram
first, away. He got on there to apologize to PNB's girl because he went on there and said all that shit about her and blame her, and then they found out they had nothing to do with her at all. And his apology wasn't really an apology. It was like,
it never is.
Yeah, I want to say shout out to her, even though it was, but for real. If you my mans, I don't even fuck with your girl like that for real. Fuck your girl. I fuck with you. He was on some shit. I was like, that's not no apology, Kodak. Like, what is you doing? Yeah. Then apparently he's about to go perform somewhere and say he's gonna do a tribute to B&B when he perform. So he decided to go pick up some chicken and waffles.
Let's say RIP, my nigga P&B.
Do you know what the third one was? I saw memes going around talking about
after that. They started bringing up how Kodak has the best intentions but the worst way to display it.
The Kobe helicopter.
Got the helicopter. What's the other shit he did?
Chicken and one was I can't remember what the third one was.
Another one, yo.
Yeah.
This motherfucker Kodak is hilarious, yo. He think he doing good.
Yeah.
He thought he did a good look. He like this chicken and waffles for my man. It's like, nah, bro. That's not what you need to be doing.
Good intentions, bad look. You know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I forgot he bought the mini Kobe helicopter.
Yeah. He bought the Kobe helicopter.
On this 24th birthday.
Purple and gold.
Yeah, right.
He probably thought that shit was hard. I'm
I'm about to kill him.
What a tribute.
It's like, nah, it's not what you want to do.
Yeah, crazy. Do it to themselves, though, man.
Yeah, I thought that was whatever, man.
It was.
A new album coming out
next week. Next week we'll have some Kodak for you.
What a rollout!
Right. Please still listen to us next week, even though I've warned you.
I know one thing. I want him about saying he blackballed next week after all this shit he be doing.
Yeah, right. It's just not.
He blackballed will be lying on my sales like this.
It's not. That's what I'm saying. Like he's done this shit to himself.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing that it can still stick around while.
He got some loyal fans.
It is.
You got some loyal fans. That's how it plays both sides. You getting blackballed, but you got some loyal fans that's still gonna listen to you.
He gonna drop a hit. And
certainly helps as well.
Yeah.
Well, we're out of time. Any words of wisdom before we wrap? We got a couple of samples coming, but any words of wisdom for you, gentlemen?
Not really.
Me neither. I have
any. Watch what you say. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Watch what you say.
I don't know.
And don't get concussed.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, we got the samples coming. If you're on the YouTube, we appreciate you. We'll be back next week, probably from another new location. So stay tuned.
You never know.
If you're on the audio, samples on the way.
Peace.
All right, my sample I found a couple weeks ago, so hopefully this plays out well. Don't remember exactly where it starts. Joe Simon, Before the Night is Over.
So fresh and clean.
Felt that vibe as soon as it came on.
Oh, I didn't know that was a sample. Hell no, I didn't.
I didn't either. So I heard that song and I was like, yo, that's so fresh, so clean. Outkast.
Wow, that was a good one though.
It was good.
Cause I had no clue. I thought that was just original. But like I said, what's original now? You don't fucking know, man. Nothing is actually.
Some interpretation.
Heard them all. I'm trying to tell you. Chill.
Yeah, man. I figured it'd be an easy one to guess, but
that was a good one.
Glad you guys enjoyed.
Yes, indeed. My sample this week comes from artist named Zusha, Yoel's Nigun.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Glad this wasn't my sample. How new is the new song?
When did this come out? It's probably like a month or so. New album this year.
This is the part sample?
That is my sample. Yeah.
I'm guessing it's off Freddie Gibbs' album.
I got no idea.
They probably wouldn't get it. It's like an album cut joint. But it's from JID's album. A song called Dance Now featuring Kenny Mason. Which he spazzed on. I gotta play this whole first verse because he went nuts.
I don't think I've listened through this project yet.
Yeah, you gotta check that shit out.
I added it and I never got back to it.
That JID album is hard.
Look, JID back in the city with it. GD done been all across the globe. They say JID a scribbler, he silly with it when he spit it. Now I hope he don't sell his soul. He should be good, man, he sounding cold. He from the hood, nigga, down the road. He with your junior right by the stove. Then they saw the patrol, it was time to roll. Saw the patrol, it was time to ride. Motor running on Memorial Drive. Got a country cousin cruising with the black man Savannah at the Florida Georgia line. Got a couple family members in it, let it, not it, let it. We let them Beretta decide. Then you go let that Beretta fly. Cause you niggas bugging, spray pesticides. It's me and the bros, no extra guys. And they moving weight, it's no exercise. We could pick a deck to come stretch you out. Only showing muscle when it's flexing time. You can see the hustle, you can recognize. Overcame struggle when the devil tried. Let me bear it all when I'm telling God. You know I'm a rant when I talk to John. Niggas say that I can't. Damn lie.
You know I'm a rant when I talk to John. What?
You gon' try to recant, you can't now. I can step on
JID nuts for real, yeah.
Bro, I want him to just get a little bit less weird.
JID nuts, yeah.
He's so fucking talented. I just can't imagine. Like, that was one of the lead singles he came with for the album.
This was a lead single?
It was one of them.
All right, yeah.
That song is never gonna get played. Like anywhere,
so fire,
but like he can rap so fucking well.
You know I'm a rant when I talk to Ja.
That's fire.
What?
Go check out JID. I got
Ja's and God. Did y'all? Oh man, what?
That's fire.
What?
So far, for sure.
That's fire.
That's nuts.
Well, good samples. We will be back next week with another NFL breakdown. We'll see what else happens in the week.
Yes, indeed.
We appreciate y'all listening. Peace.
Peace.
See you.